Assalamualaikum and good day. Now we're going to go to the next chapter, which is chapter 6, filter design. In this chapter 6, we have part 1 and part 2. In this slide, okay, I combine both part 1 and part 2, so it look longer. Okay, so but today in our session, we will only cover filter design part 1. Okay, so there is many types of filter response. Okay, if you can see, there is Basel filters, Butterworth filters, Chebyshev filter, elliptic filter, Basel filter, and many types of other filters. However, we're going to cover only two types of filters for our course, which is the Butterworth and Chebyshev only. Okay. Just like to recall, okay, there are many categories of filters, which is low pass filters, high pass filters, band pass filter, and band stop filter. Okay, so we recall first, so that before we proceed to the next section about the types of filter response. Okay, this is filter response. So low pass filter pass all frequency from DC, from the maximum up to the upper cutoff, -3 dB. This one is in dB scale. If we in linear, is actually a factor of 1 over square root of 2 from the maximum. So this is our cutoff frequency, pass low frequency, which is this is your omega C. Next, okay, but you can see here is frequency. So if it's omega, this is omega C. High pass filter, in contrast, pass all frequency that are above the lower cutoff frequency, which is from a minimum of cutoff frequency is a frequency at which there is a reduction 1 over square root of 2 in linear, and negative 3 dB, negative 3 dB. Okay, that is the cutoff frequency. So high pass filters pass all frequencies that are above its lower cutoff frequency. This is our high pass response. Okay. Band pass filter, as you may or recall, it pass only the frequency range that fall between its value of the lower and upper cutoff frequency. So you have this is lower cutoff frequency and this is upper cutoff frequency. So it only pass frequency between this region only. Other than that, the frequency range are being attenuated, or in simple term, we try to block the other frequency range. And again, F1 and F2 is actually the cutoff frequency at which the maximum value here has been reduced by -3 dB, or 1 over square root of 2, or 0.707. Okay, it is similar to the other cutoff frequency concept. And band stop, sometimes we can call it notch filters. So make sure if we mention in exam as notch filters, you should be able to to know what is actually notch filters. Notch filter is our band stop filters. So in band stop filters, it eliminates all signal within the stop band while passing all frequency outside this band. So you can see here is a stop band. Okay, any frequency that fall in between our cutoff frequency, it will be stopped. It will be attenuated. So frequency range at which the signal is being blocked or try to being attenuated is the stop band. Okay, so this is your band stop response. This, okay, so be careful in the wording. Make sure you know the difference. For example, this one is band stop response. But what is stop band? Stop band is the frequency range at which the range of frequency being stopped. Okay, so it's different. Huh? Even though it's just change of the band stop, is totally not the same as stop band. Filter response characteristic. So as you recall that we have covered in the previous chapter 5, we have two types of filters, which is the ideal filter and also the practical filters. Okay, so in ideal filter, our band pass, okay, or our pass band, okay. Here I think there is a bit error because I don't agree with the term. Okay, within the pass band, okay, not band pass, between the pass band, the gain is actually equals to 1, and in the stop band, the gain is 0. This is in the ideal filter. As you all know, in the ideal filter, if we have signal that fall between the pass band, it will be like totally there, and then in the stop band it is totally attenuated, totally removed, which don't happen in real life. That's why you can see in ideal filter the pass band have the gain of 1 and the stop band having totally gain of 0. Okay, in the ideal filter there is no transitional band between band pass and band stop. Let's we recall. Okay, so in ideal filter, okay, let's consider our band pass filters. Okay, band pass filter is allow certain frequency to pass through. So we have band pass filter. This is the ideal filter. Okay, omega C1, omega C2. Okay, so this is our gain. Okay, in band pass filters, this one is 1, and then the frequency that is not allowed to pass through totally 0. So in ideal filter, there is no transitional because there is totally drop of 90 degree here. So there's no transitional band. However, in our practical filters, as you can see from here, okay, our band pass filter, okay, we can explain using other type of filter, but I chose band pass filter, okay. So there is transition, okay, transition. Totally different than our ideal filters, okay. And then there is a drop by a factor of 1 over square root of 2, okay. This is where our omega C1, and this is our omega C2, and this is the region at which there is a transition, okay. You can see there is transition, is can don't not really directly drop, okay. Here, this is the transition. So that's why in the practical filter, bandpass can any constant value, okay, in dB, in any constant value in dB. And the stop band, the gain is not equal to 0 because there is always a value, because it is not directly 0. You can see there is still a value. This is our gain, for example, okay. This still value is not totally 0. And there, of course, there is a transitional band exists, okay, between the pass band and stop band. You can correct this. I think there is error, okay, because it should be called as stop band and pass band, okay. There is errors here. I hope you can differentiate. Like I told you, there is different, right, between band stop and stop band. Band stop is a type of filter, and stop band is actually the frequency range at which the frequency is being stopped, okay. So here, so next, the ideal response of filters. Okay, as we already recapped in the previous chapter, okay, so I'm going to pass through this because it like a repetition, okay. But if you have a problem, please let me know, okay. So this is the ideal response of filters, okay, filter response. So this is the practical non-ideal filter response for low pass filter, and this is the ideal response for the low pass filters. The definition remain the same as it is in the previous chapter 5, okay. If you have problem, let me know, okay, because there is actually a repetitions, okay. So this is ideal filter, high pass filters, okay. This is your ideal filters, and this is actually your high pass filters, okay. The practical high pass filters, also known as the non-ideal high pass filters. And omega C is actually the frequency at which there is drop of 1 over square root of 2 or 0.707 or negative 3 dB from the maximum. Okay, depends, okay, which value. So this is your ideal filter, which you already also covered in the previous chapter 5. Okay, so you can see the ideal magnitude plot of bandpass filters. You can see this is the ideal, okay, the ideal, this is the ideal bandpass filters. So you can see there is a gain value of 1, okay. Similar for here, we have high pass filter, a gain value of 1 for the ideal high pass filter. The same for our low pass filter, okay, 1. Why? We have learned just now here, okay. So this is our bandpass filters, only allow certain frequency within the cutoff frequency range to pass through, while attenuating the other frequency range. Okay. Likewise, or in contrast, for bandstop filter, it only stops the frequency within the cutoff frequency range, which is omega C1 to omega C2, while allowing other frequency range to pass through. Okay. Sorry, I take some drink. Okay, so here, now we go to the next one, which is filter specification. As you has been informed, we only cover two types of filter response, which is Butterworth and Chebyshev. Okay, let's observe, analyze this slide. Okay, so this is our filter response. Okay, and this is the blue one showing our Butterworth filter response, and black showing the Chebyshev filter response. Okay, as you can see, in Chebyshev filter response, we have a ripple here. Do you see this? Okay, so the Chebyshev have ripple. Okay, and this ripple is range from the maximum until your passband gain, until the value of your passband gain. Alpha P. And you can see there is a transition for both filter response. Okay, if you can see, Chebyshev settle down or gradient much more steeper than Butterworth. Okay, here we introduce the term roll off. Okay, if you can see, Chebyshev has faster roll off, which is much more steeper than our Butterworth. Okay, if you can see, Chebyshev have faster roll off, have steeper. Look here, means that Chebyshev, okay, can be much more closer to the ideal filters, which is the ideal case, which is means that Chebyshev can be the preferred if we want the signal to have a faster, if you want the filter response to have faster roll off. However, there is a trade-off or disadvantage because Chebyshev have ripple. Unlike in Butterworth, there is little ripple, or we can say there is like no ripple here. Okay, but in real case we cannot say totally no. Okay, so we have less or no ripple at the Butterworth filter response. However, Butterworth filter response have a slower roll off because you can see less steeper. Okay, and here you can see there is alpha S. Alpha S is the stop band gain. Okay, if you can see, Chebyshev settled down much faster at earlier frequency. For example, let's say this omega 2 and this is omega 3. Means that omega 2 for Chebyshev, the frequency is already attenuated from omega 2. However, because Butterworth has slower roll off, it only attenuates signal effectively at here, for example 3. Okay, so this is your stop band gain value. Okay, so let's move to the next figure. It is much less, more or less the same. Okay, so you can see this is your Chebyshev. Okay, this is your Chebyshev response. So there is a difference between the maximum until this value, which is the pass band gain value. So here the difference is actually the A maximum. The A maximum and taken is actually at this omega C, the cutoff frequency. And here you can see from the minimum until omega P, this is actually your pass band frequency. And this omega S, like I told just now, is a stop band gain value. Started at omega S here. Okay, so you can see this is the region at your pass band. This is the region where we call it the changes between the pass band and stop band, which is the transition band, and this is your stop band. Okay, okay, filter design process. Okay, first we start with filter specification. First, type of response. Is it Chebyshev? Is it Butterworth? Second, the cutoff frequency. We need to know the cutoff frequency, or we need to find them, which is omega C. And then we need to know, or we need to find, depends on the situations, the omega P, which is the passband frequency. Next, we need to know the passband gain or the attenuation value. Okay, so it can be called passband gain or attenuation, which is your alpha P. Next, we need to know, or we given, or we going to solve, depends, the stop band frequency, which is omega S. And when we have omega S, mean we have a stop band gain, which is alpha S. It can be also called as attenuation, stop band attenuation, or pass band attenuation. Okay. Then, once we have this filter specification, once we have this filter specification, all of them, the next is actually to find the transfer function. So if you can see, there is H in bracket S and with N here. What does it mean? Means it is a normalized transfer function. Okay, N mean normalized transfer function. So this is the normalized transfer function in terms of polynomial. Let's say the filter order is 2. So you will have K2, S2, A2 minus 1, S2 minus 1, and so on. So N is the order. So before that, before we proceed, so you can see from our table, okay, our filter response. So this is your Chebyshev and this is Butterworth. So if you can see, this is Butterworth and this is Chebyshev. Okay, so here the equation that being shown here is which filters. So let's see. It is a Butterworth filter. Okay, filter response. So you can see at your appendix. Okay, and after we manage to find the normalized transfer function, we need to realize the circuits. Okay, we need to realize the circuits. Filter response. This is Butterworth transfer function, as you can see from here and from your appendix. Okay, let me maximize. Okay, so you can see this is your normalized transfer function. This is your alpha, this is your alpha p, this is your alpha s, and so on. And this is the order n. Don't worry if you don't understand. Uh, it's more clear in the subsequent slides. Okay. So this is Chebyshev transfer function. In Chebyshev, we have two kinds of condition. For n even and for n is odd. So the same you can see from your appendix. This is Chebyshev filter response. Okay. Don't worry, we will we will try exercise involving this. Okay, so that you understand and you can try also at your own the exercise. Okay. So filter response for Butterworth. Okay. Okay, before I go to here, let's recall again what is the filter response of a Butterworth. So this is Butterworth, the blue color, which doesn't have ripple. Okay. Filter response, Butterworth response. So this is your Hj omega. Okay, the magnitude. So you can see it's 1 over square root 1 over omega c, the cutoff frequency, n times 2n. N is here is actually your order. Okay, so this is the filter response. You can see omega p here is the frequency at which we have a value attenuated by alpha p. Okay, the stop band gain and the pass band gain value, or you can call it attenuation. And this omega C is actually the frequency at which the signal being reduced by 1 over square root of 2 from its maximum. And this is your omega S, is a frequency with the corresponding of stop band gain here. Okay, so you can now we see the low pass Butterworth filter response. So you can see the order of the filters 2 until 10. So the n equals to 2 until n equals to 10. Okay, if you can see here, okay, the higher the filter is, the higher the order of the filter for the low pass Butterworth filter, the steeper the curve here. Means the higher the order of the filter, the faster the roll off. Okay, because it is much getting attenuated much faster with the increase of order of the filter. Okay, so if you have 3, for example, if in comparison, if you have filter response of order 2 compared with 8, for example, if you can see at 2 and at 8, you can see it is much more faster roll off. Okay, means the faster it is actually attenuated. um, okay, if we compare, okay, from the older 2 and the older 8, which one has faster roll off? It's the older 8 because it have more steeper. Okay, it's attenuated much faster, so it have a better roll off. And if you can see here is mentioned the word normalized frequency, means it is not the exact frequency, it is being normalized to a certain frequency, which is our f naught. For example, if we, okay, just for your understanding, for example, if we to say the frequency is normalized with 50 ohm, with 50 omega 50 or frequency 50, for example, f, okay, this is to for you to understand what is the normalized concept. Normalized frequency normalized by 50 megahertz, so you should be divide by 50 megahertz. So it is normalized frequency to 50 megahertz. Okay, so it is not frequency, so here is normalized frequency. So and then here is the response in the absolute and in dB scale. So if you see here is 0 here, 20 log 0, 20 log 1 is equals to 0. That's why in the maximum we have 0 here. Okay, because 1 is like 100%, 100. Okay, then next slide. This, the next is Chebyshev response. Just now Butterworth response without ripple and slow roll off compared to Chebyshev. Chebyshev has faster roll off, however with ripple. Okay, so this is your filter response for Chebyshev. Okay, we have ripple here. Okay, between the maximum to here. This is your pass band gain. So this, the range here, we call it A maximum, A MAX. Okay, sorry, there is X is here. Huh? So it's A maximum, which actually equals to 10 log in bracket 1 plus epsilon square. Okay, and as you already mentioned or have been mentioned before, this is your stop band gain. Okay, and this is your stop band frequency. Okay, so the region pass band, transition band, and stop band. And the transfer function here, okay, the vanity of transfer function is 1 over square root 1 plus epsilon square Tn square omega over omega c. For part 1, we will cover until Butterworth filter design only. So now, having to learn about the difference, okay, of two filter response, which is Butterworth and Chebyshev, now we summarize it in one slide. Okay, so here, as you can see, this is your Butterworth filter response shown in blue color, and shown in black is your Chebyshev filter response, and both of them is low pass filters. Here is Chebyshev filter response. This one is Butterworth filter response. If you can see in Chebyshev, as you all can see, the passband having ripple, which is here. Okay. However, in Butterworth filter response, we have flat passband shown in blue. In terms of roll-off, the changes, like I told you just now, in Chebyshev, it has a fast roll-off, which is here. However, in Butterworth, the roll-off is much slower. The design process for Butterworth, for Chebyshev, is much more complicated compared to Butterworth. Okay, so that's why in this part 1, we will cover Butterworth filter response first. Okay, in later on, we will cover the Chebyshev filter response. Okay, the one that having the ripple here. Okay, so omega PC is actually your cutoff passband frequency. Sorry, omega PC is actually the passband frequency for Chebyshev. That's why we have C here. And omega PB is actually the passband frequency for Butterworth, shown in B. Okay, and omega SC is actually the stop band frequency for Chebyshev filter, shown in C. And omega SP is actually stop band frequency, shown in omega SB with B here. Okay, so again, next we try to make detail of the difference, compare and contrast between these two types of filter response. Okay, so Chebyshev, we have ripple at our passband. Okay, in Malay we call ria, and this one is lebaria. This one is ripple. This one is the passband ripple. Okay, so ripple at passband. However, in Butterworth, we have flat or no ripple at the passband. Okay. Number two, Chebyshev have benefit of fast or better roll-off compared to our Butterworth. Butterworth we have much slower and or we can call it a steady state roll-off. Okay. For the Chebyshev, the circuit will be simple circuit generation, and Butterworth is complex circuit generations. Chebyshev known as equal ripple, while Butterworth known as maximally flat, which you can relate, right? Because this is equal ripple and this one is maximally flat. Okay. So there is pro and cons of each filter response. Okay. If the question asks you to decide or to actually, if the question gives you some conditions, uh, you need to manipulate which one actually um, the best filter response, for example, or maybe later on. Okay, we will see in the examples. Okay, so we will go to next, which is filter designs. Okay, for the Butterworth. Okay, before we go to Butterworth filter design, let us see the appendix. Okay, so the appendix have analog filter design. Okay, this is the equation given for the Butterworth filter response. So you don't have to memorize, but make sure you know how to use it. Okay, so this is the Butterworth. Okay, so step by step. Okay, step by step to design Butterworth transfer function. Again, what is transfer function? It is our hash. Okay, so the first step of designing Butterworth transfer function, we need to determine the order of the filter response of that Butterworth transfer function, which shown by this equation. N equals to log 10 stop band gain over 10 minus 1, 10 pass band gain over 10 minus 1 over 2 log omega Sn. Okay, so this is the first step. You should determine the order of the filter, or maybe the question asks you to design a filter of order 2, for example. Then you should know n equals to 2. If the third order filter, n equals to 3, and so on. And then the next step, the second step, you need to calculate omega c and choose omega c with the alpha p and alpha s that fulfill the given specification. Okay, as you all know, okay, we can have, you need to calculate omega c here. Okay, there is, for example, two value of omega c. One is based on the passband gain. Okay, the other one is based on the stop band gain. So you need to calculate each of these omega c, and then from this omega c, you will generate the corresponding stop band gain, a pass band gain, and the stop band gain, which is the 20 log of these linear terms of pass band gain or stop band gain. The question, for example, we may give you the specification. They want a value of something. For example, they want omega p equals to or greater than something like that. Okay, so you need to choose which this omega c actually give fulfill the specification required by the question or the problems. Okay, don't worry if you understand now. We will go to the exercise. Okay, omega p decibel and alpha p decibel and alpha s, okay, can be calculated from equation in the next slide. Okay, let's see if in the appendix for the Butterworth. So you can see this is your alpha p and this is your alpha s. Okay, given. So don't worry. And then after that, once you have choose the value of omega c that actually fulfill the specification required, the next step, which is the third step, you need to determine the normalized transfer function HNS. Here showing this normalized, refer an Butterworth coefficient from the table. Okay, see from your appendix. Okay, so here, okay, for example, if it's one the normalized transformation of order 2, so S2, A2 minus 1, A S2 minus 1, S1, and so on. Okay, the normalized function. Okay, you can obtain this from the table. Okay, given here. Okay, I think it will be clear with the exercise later on. Okay, after we determine the normalized transfer function, which we refer to the value of an here. Okay, okay, sorry, I was looking for for this actually. Okay, Butterworth. Mm, distribution. Okay, this is the Butterworth. Okay, I was searching for this. Okay, you see here table F.5. Okay, here refer an. Okay, we will have the value of an. Let's say this is your Butterworth. So let's say order filter 2. Okay, um, let me show first. I'm changing the screen. Wait, I'm trying to open the pane. Okay, okay. So, okay, wait, I share the screen. Okay, so now I just want to show, for example, if we have step 3, okay, so that you understand step 3. Okay, let's say we already this one before we go to the real, I mean the X before to go to the example later on for easy, but I want to explain a bit fast. Okay, so let's say when you already calculate, you get n equals to 1, for example, the order of filters, and then from 2 you will obtain the omega c actually. Which one omega c actually fulfill the specification that we want. This one you can learn, you later on we refer to as association, but I want to explain on 3. Okay, so determining the normalized transfer function. So let's say n is equals to 1 here. Okay, we have standard equation h normalized of s equals to 1 over b, and s equals to 1 over Sn plus an minus 1, Sn minus 1, plus so on. Okay, because the filter order is 1, so h n normalized transfer function is 1 over, you, you will replace here. Okay, now you know what I'm trying to show. So you will put here, so it will be s1 plus a, because n is equals to 1, 1 minus 1, and then s1 minus 1, 0. Okay, anything with power of 0 is equals to 1, right? So you will have s1 over s plus a naught. Okay, this one you can refer from the appendix of the coefficient of Butterworth polynomial. For n, okay, I just follow the appendix. Okay, order filter 2. Okay, sorry, for order filter 2. Okay, so wait for one. Sorry. Okay, we just follow the appendix. Okay, so for order filter 2, for example, I change now this is to 2. Okay, so 1 over s2 plus a2 minus 1, s2 minus 1. Okay, and then we need to complete the polynomial. Sorry, I don't really feel in a good health. I'm sorry for this. Okay, so you just refer to the to the appendix, okay, because it's given in the table. Okay, but you all this make sure you know which one to refer. Okay, which is we have Butterworth and we have Chebyshev filter. Okay, and after that, so see here 1 over a square plus a 2 minus 1, which is a, and then you have s here. Okay, And then here, okay, if you can see, the polynomial for order 2 only have a1, so only stops here. Okay, but you can see there is a okay bn here. Okay, the generalized form. Okay, sorry, ignore this one. Okay, the generalized form, which is 1 over bn of your hash. Okay, so it's actually the generalized form is n plus a n minus 1 is n minus 1 plus so on. Okay, later on this is minus 2 minus 2. Okay, and then a1 is until it is plus 1. Okay. mm, where were we? Okay, so you can see this is a um, until here, because we only have order of 2. If you have order of 3, you will have s3 plus at the denominator a3 minus 1 s3 minus 1. Okay, plus a3 minus 2 s3 minus 2 and so on. Okay, until you have actually the last value is actually 1. Okay, depends of how many order. Okay, how many order that you have. Okay, sorry if my explanation a bit not clear. I think we will be much clear if we go to the example later on. Okay, then number 4. Okay, step number 4, we need to determine the real sorry, we need to determine the real or actual transfer function obtained from step 3 and using transformation table, because you see this one is the normalized transfer function, so we need to denormalize, or we need to obtain the real one, because this one is not the real transformation, it is the normalized one. So that's why you need to determine the real actual transfer function obtained from step 3 and using the transformation table. So you see at your appendix. Okay, I minimize it. Okay, so the transformation table shows by, okay, this is Chebyshev Butterworth. Okay, going down f.1, and then you can see for the transformation. Okay, this is circuit transformation for Chebyshev, but we go for this for the Butterworth. Okay. Mm, okay, so this is the transformation. Okay, so if it's for Butterworth, is S omega over omega C, and then if it's for Chebyshev, is S over omega P. Not sure if you guys understand. Okay, Um, wait, for example, you have this is the step show discuss that determine the real or actual transfer function obtained from step 3 and using the transformation table. If you can see, this is HNS, okay? HNS, which is actually the normalized, okay? Not the real transformation because it is being normalized. So what we can do, okay? We can see here, okay, for Chebyshev, for Butterworth, okay, which is here. This one is for Butterworth. This one is for Chebyshev, okay. Wait. Okay. So you can see this is your H and S. This is the normalized transfer function. If we want to denormalize or we want to obtain the real or actual transfer function, we need to denormalize them. For example, if it's a low pass filter and if it's a Butterworth, so you need to, if you want to denormalize them, it should be Hs equals to H and S, but replace with omega C. Okay, so anything that have S element will be divided by omega C in order for us to obtain the actual transfer function from our normalized transfer function, which is shown by the n here. Okay, sorry if a bit confused. Okay, hopefully after this will be okay. Okay, which is just now. Okay, do we have mm, wait, I don't know why it's look like confusing here. Okay. Oh, so this one is still general, and this one is actually the answers for that. Okay, never mind. Okay, so example. Okay, we go to the examples. You can go through this yourself. Okay, because it's the same as appendix. So example. Okay, Butterworth response. Okay, so you can see design a Butterworth low pass filter. Okay, LPF with a pass band gain between 1 and 0.91 dB per gain for 0 omega 10. A stop band not to exceed 0.0316 negative 30 dB gain for omega over 20. So the first step is actually we need to calculate the order of the filters, the number, what is the n, and then we sketch the magnitude response of these filters, determine the normalized transfer function, and determine the actual transfer function. Okay, so you can refer to the slide while I'm showing the step. I'm sorry because I cannot show both screens. So while I'm showing the step, you cannot see the question. Okay. So we go to the new page. Okay. So the question wants us actually Butterworth low pass filters. Okay. Okay, I just use short form. And a pass band gain. Okay, pass band gain between 1 and 0.891. So you can see a pass band gain between a pass band gain, which is your alpha, um, with my, okay, sorry, where you pass band gain is actually between 1 to 0.891. Okay, so if you see from the question, okay, it is given negative 1 dB. What does it mean? Because if you see here, this is linear. Okay, if it's we convert to dB, 20 log 0.891, you will have negative 1 dB gain. Okay, this why if you refer from the slide, we have this negative 1. So this is actually the decibel scale of our 0.891, and it is given the frequency required is from 0 until omega over 10. Okay, this is your pass band gain. Okay, and then a stop band not to exceed 0.0316. We have stop band not to exceed 0.0316. Cannot exceed means cannot be greater than this. So if we change to the log, okay, so it is actually negative 30 dB gain. Okay, this is gain as well. Okay, for omega greater than 20. Okay, this is given. Now, first, we need to calculate the order of the filter. So, given n, okay, I mean we need to determine our n, our filter response. So, given that n is actually log, okay, log, okay, I'm a bit slow here because I want for you to understand. Alpha s over 10 um, wait, I need to see the appendix. Okay, for the value of, okay, so, because there is a bit error in the slide, okay, you need to always refer to the appendix for the correct equation, because sometimes when I'm transferring the slide or relay out the slide, maybe some error happen, and sorry for this. While I try my best to reduce, but sometimes it's happen. So for the order filters, okay, the equation is 10 alpha s over 10 minus 1 in bracket over 10 alpha p over 10 minus 1. Okay, and then 2 log omega Sn. Okay, this is the equation given by the appendix. Okay, so the first step, you need to be able to determine the order of the filters. So log, just put outside first, and here alpha s. Okay, what is your alpha s? Wait, I want to check something. Because I want to check if there is any error with the equation first. Sorry. Wait, Okay, so now I'll confirm is correct. Sorry, because I'm a bit slow. Okay, so there is no problem with the question. Just I want to verify because I don't want to make you confused. Okay, so now 10 here. Okay, 10 here. Then this is your alpha S. Okay, alpha S here. If you can see. Okay, so what is the dB? Is 30 dB. So that's why you put alpha S is 3 over 10 minus 1. Okay, and then over 10 alpha P, which is 1 dB, 1 over 10. Okay, minus 1. Okay, and then 2 log. Okay, omega Sn. Omega Sn is actually the ratio between omega S over omega P, which is given omega S is 20 and then omega P is 10. So it is 2. Okay, so 2 log omega Sn equals to 2 log 2 is 0.6. Okay, here is equals to 0.6. Okay, this one equals to 0.6. This one, the above, is equals to, okay, press your calculator, log okay, it's a bit slow, but because I want you to understand. Okay, no point I'm going fast and you don't understand, because and then everyone's speed is different. We must celebrate all kind of student. So 0.26. Okay, then log 1 divided by 0.26. Okay, 0.59 divided by 0.6. Wait. Is there any way that I do it wrong? Wait, because it's wrong here. Omega S 20, omega P 10, 2, okay, 2 log 2 is 0.6, correct? This one, am I do it correctly? Good. Wait. So 10 to the power of 0.3 minus 1 divided by uh, 10 to the power of 0.1 minus 1. Okay, okay, so it's log 3.84. Okay, divided by 0.6. Wait. Is there just now? Wait. Is there anywhere that I do it mistake or I left it something wrong? Wait. Oh, sorry. Oh my God, I am so sorry. So this one is 30. Sorry. This one is no wonder it's weird. This one is 30, not 3. 30. Okay, this is 1 is correct because it's 1 here. Okay, no wonder. Okay, sorry for that. Sorry, I am sorry. So we calculate 10 to the power of 3 Okay, here 10 to the power of 3 minus 1, and then divide by, okay, and then we have here, sorry, when you are sick, your mind don't work really well. That's why just now I'm trying to do something earlier before I actually speak. I'm worried I make a lot of mistake due to sickness. So this is um, log 3858. Okay, 3858. Okay, so log uh, here divide by 0.6, so you have 5.98. Okay, the order of filters, uh, if you can see, it is in a round numbers. So if you have order filter 5.98 is 6. Okay, even if you get, for example, 5.2, means it is order filter of 6. Okay, we go to the nearest, okay, because this is the order of filters. Okay, next, so we already have our order filters. Okay, when I save this step, because maybe you need that later on. Okay, so now we have achieved our first, which is the order of filters. And the next step, okay, the next step is what? The next step in the solving of it is we need to calculate omega c and choose omega c with the A and P, alpha P and alpha S that fulfill the given specification. Okay. Um, Sorry. Okay. So we have the order filter. Now our order filter that we want is actually filter order 6. Okay. So so I use the new page. Okay. Now we have our order filter, which is 6. Okay. So the next part is actually we calculate. Okay. We need the step 2 to calculate omega c that fulfill the given specification. Okay. So we are given in the specification just now. Okay, wait, I'm adjusting the screen because I need to see the question only, then I can do the solution, right? Solving. Okay, so given that it must be condition, okay, a pass band gain between 1 and 0.2 and 4 omega less than 10, and a stop band not to exceed -3 dB for omega greater than 20. So now we need to calculate in such a way that omega c that fulfill these equations. Okay, so we know that from our appendix, okay, we have two equations, is omega c and omega c or equations. Okay, one that is using omega p over 10 alpha p, okay, because this is omega p, so this is alpha p over 10 minus 1, um, sorry, okay, I'm referring to the appendix because appendix much more clearer. Okay, so 1 over 2n. Then another equation for omega c is involving the stop band omega s over 10 alpha s over 10 minus 1, 1 over 2n. Okay, now we need to determine our omega c now that actually fulfill our our specification or whatever the question want. So just now our you need to put this value. So okay, what is our omega p? From just now, our omega p is actually 10. Okay, omega p is 10, and then the value of alpha p. What is the value of alpha p just now? 1. Okay, minus 1. And filter order uh, 2 for the old filter order 6. That's why 2 times 6 is 12. Okay, so what is the corresponding omega c that we get here? Hmm, so we get is 11.19. Okay, from the passband equation, because this is the passband. So from the passband equation, now from the stop band equation, so omega c, what is the stop band? Frequency that we get is actually 20. Okay, and then what is our stop band gain? Alpha s is 30 minus 1 to the power of 1 over 12. Okay, so what is the answer? I am sorry because of my coughing. Made it much more difficult for me to teach. So you get is 11.25 from your stop band equation. Okay, um, put unit. This one is radian per second, right? Because this one is omega, but I don't have enough space. You know, right? Omega is radian per second. Okay, and then what is the spec? Now we need to choose which of this omega c will actually fulfill our specification. Okay, so for omega c equals to 11.19. Okay, the alpha s is what? Oh my god, equal to this. Okay, so alpha s given as 0.0316, and omega c from the stop band. Wait, I mix up. This one is pass band. Okay. Sorry, my mind is not really working. So this one is omega c, and then this one, the next one is because this is coming from our um, okay, from omega c 11.19. Okay, and then we have we need to, okay, we have 11.19 for this passband, for this passband. So we have another omega c here, omega c here. Okay, This one is when we choose the value of 11.25. Okay, you see there is a bit different between my value and the slide. Don't worry, but because it's from the calculator, decimal point difference. Okay, so from omega c 11.19. Okay, our alpha s, oh my god. Okay, okay, uh, the alpha s and alpha p. Okay, you can calculate. Sorry, I try to fasten so that I need to save space. So you can actually see from this, from alpha p and alpha s, what is the value. Okay, after you insert the omega p and omega c. Okay, so you get this omega alpha s equals to 0.03069, and then you get alpha p equals to 0.0891. Okay, and similarly, if you for omega c here, the corresponding alpha s, okay, you need to calculate 0.032, and for alpha p is equals to 0.899. Okay, now the specification given by the equation, by the solution, is that it is said that a passband gain between 1 to 0.891 between for omega from 0 until 10, and a stop band, okay, and stop band not to exceed negative 30 dB for omega greater than 20. Okay, you need to refer to the specification. Okay, this is the specification shown. Okay, now we try to relate because we need to choose which value. Okay, so this is the spec given. Okay, so if you can see, this is your omega s, and this is your this is alpha s and alpha p for cutoff frequency that is 11.19. Okay, so we need to choose the cutoff, which one is actually following the specification with the calculated alpha p and alpha s. Okay, now you can see the for the alpha p, the passband required is between 1 to 0.891. Okay, between that. So this why this one is in range, in the range. Okay, and the next one is for the alpha s. How about the alpha s? Alpha s is shown is not to exceed 0.0316, not to exceed. So you can see this does not exceeding, so it is below than 0.0316. Okay, so in this one you can try yourself. Okay, means this one is not chosen, so this one is being chosen. So for this example, that's why, because this satisfy the requirement, so we choose omega c equals to 11.19. What is the unit? Remember, is radian per second. Yeah, okay, not frequency, not hertz, because hertz is frequency for the f. Next, we need to determine the normalized transfer function now, which is our step 3. Okay, wait, I snip this one in case you guys not sure if you guys need my beautiful handwriting. Okay, but since this is video recorded, So you can just refer to the video. Okay. Next step is we need to determine the normalized transfer function. Okay. Let's say. Okay. The next step is to determine the normalized transfer function. So you need to refer to your appendix. Okay. To your appendix. Where is your appendix? Wait. Oh my God. Wait, how to show this? Okay, so this is your appendix. For order filter, you need to see very well. This is Butterworth. So this is Chebyshev. So this is your Butterworth. Okay, you see, you need to see here A1, A1, A2, A3, A4, A5 for order filter 6. Okay. How I'm going to do? Okay. So you need to see from the table. Okay. So H, the normalized transfer function. Okay, normalized transfer function 1 over S6 plus, okay, let me show the the standardized form first. Okay, Sn plus an minus 1 Sn minus 1 plus a1s plus 1. Okay, because our filter is actually 6 order. Okay, so this S6 and so on. Okay, S6 plus 6 plus 1 A5, right? 3.864, just follow the table, and then 6 plus 1 5 plus next one a 6 minus 2, which is A4. This one is 7.646. Sorry, oh my God. Zeros, sorry, 464. Okay. If you notice, the time here is 2:48 a.m. While I'm coughing and with sickness, and I should be sleeping right now. But it's okay. It's okay. It's my job. But I hope you guys please forgive me if my explanation not that clear because of my sickness. Okay. 7464. Now S is 4 plus the next one is A6 minus 3, which is A3. So you have 9. 141 S3 plus, okay, I speed up 7.6 464 S2 plus 3.864 S plus 1. So this is your normalized transfer function, which is the step 3. Okay, after that, step 4. Okay, step 4, you need to determine find the filter transfer function. You need to denormalize them back. Okay, so referring to the appendix, uh, wait on. So referring to the appendix, where's the appendix? Okay, so here, because what is the question just now? Want you? Sorry, where's the? Okay, the equation wants you to design Butterworth low pass filter. Okay, butterworth low pass filter. So you refer to here low pass filter. Okay, low pass filter butterworth, which is S over omega C. If we want to denormalize them, because just now is normalized transfer function. So every of these need to be over omega SC. Okay, here H S, all of them, okay, all of the S need to be S over omega C. 6 plus 3864 S omega C, and so on. Okay, and what is omega C? The one that we have chosen earlier, which is um, 11 point, the one that we have chose just now, which is 11.19. Okay, so with that you obtain the actual transfer function because you already denormalized them. Okay, so with that, um, sorry, with that, we finish for now. Okay, we will continue with Chebyshev filter design and transfer function in the next lecture. Okay, Assalamualaikum, and thank you for listening. Okay.